Hey guys, this is Evan with Gorkadu coming to you with another video about my life here in Japan and kokuma, corn potage, hot corn porridge, drink in a can. I haven't had this in probably 8 years or 9 years, and this got me kind of thinking. I was thinking about possible video ideas, and this just got me kind of reminiscing about that time when I first moved here, and I think the phenomenon that a lot of foreigners have here when they first move to Japan. And that is, I guess, what people usually call the honeymoon period, or maybe the first 6 months you're living here. There's just kind of these endless little fun new experiences, things to try, food to try. And it's like this, it's really fun, and you're in this kind of like theme park mentality for the first half year of your time in Japan. But I think eventually that kind of goes away. And so I don't know what that would be like now, because there's so much information about Japan on the internet. I mean, sometimes I get recommended shorts and stuff, and I'm like, I didn't know that was here. So, even I'm discovering some information about random weird shit you can buy in Japan. Like I saw recently, they had like that Nomu Mayo, the drinkable mayonnaise thing that's going around, which I still have to try. How could I not try it living here? But yeah, I think this is something that can be kind of difficult, though, when you're living here, that, when you first come here for 6 months or so, it's like everything is new and you're kind of learning how to live your life here. You're learning how to live your life here in the dynamic of every single day you're trying something new, which brings its own set of challenges, brings its own set of fun things you can you do. And it's really easy to be motivated to go out and just like try this or try that, because everything is new and exciting, and it's just like this like kind of theme park, right? But it's difficult, because it's like as you get more acclimated to things in Japan, things get less exciting. They can become normalized, and the things that you actually start caring about are some of the more deeper levels, the kind of things that you would be interested in your own country, which is like human relationships, your own personal growth and goals, how you fit into society, or how is your life in Japan, not just like you like existing as some kind of like voyeuristic entity moving through the space here trying stuff, but actually like building a life here. And then you're like, oh shit, it's actually like hard to build a life in places. It's hard to build a life in your own country, in your own hometown. And then you're trying to do that in another country with like the added barriers of speaking another language, being a very visible foreigner. Even if you're Chinese or Korean, or people can tell usually based on your fashion, your haircut. Obviously you're Japanese, the way there's 1,000 different unspoken rules that you're probably breaking that will make you a very visible foreigner, even if you're Asian too. And existing as that, and then also having your life become more normalized over time, that's a very strange phenomenon to go to, from being basically on vacation for 6 months to a year when you're discovering new things, and then having to kind of like figure out how to do that. So I always say that I basically learned how to build my life again, or live my life again. I mean, I moved here as a young adult. I was 19, so I basically lived my whole adult life in Japan. So I don't like know how to live necessarily as an adult in the US either. But just as far as like communicating with people, building those connections, building that sense of identity in your environment, and just learning how to, live a fulfilling life with goals and passions and everything. Like you have to kind of relearn that in another country and in a completely new context. And that can be difficult coming off of that high. So, I actually, I've heard a lot of people go through a similar thing where you kind of go through like a little bit of a mini depression, I think, like as you get to a point where the number of new like little stupid experiences goes down. Because like I said, I literally went, this is outside my apartment, right? The little stupid drinkable corn thing is there. Like if I open the window, it's 10 feet from my apartment. Like it's so easy to have these stupid little new experiences. There's endless amount of new experiences to be had in Japan, even just like regarding Japanese culture. But as far as these little dumb things, you know, the ability to just like instantly go grab a new experience like that without any effort, it will go down at a rate that's faster than your ability to learn Japanese, to learn how to make friends here, to like make those connections probably, right? So that can be like kind of a depressing experience when you're going through that. And I think that's difficult and it takes a lot of willpower. And I think a lot of people kind of get stuck in that. Or I've seen especially like some other YouTubers are particularly negative about life in Japan and they feel like they focus in on the racism or whatever they think they're experiencing. And I think a lot of people kind of come off that high and they can never push through to the next phase, which is basically pushing through until your Japanese level overcomes that sense of like that new excitement or, you know, that initial honeymoon phase. Like they don't get their Japanese level to that point fast enough before their enthusiasm is completely crushed, I think. And I would say that's probably like within 5 years. Like if you're not studying Japanese, you're 5 years in here and you can't talk to anybody, you can't have a normal life, everyone's treating you differently, and you can't like position yourself within that to like flip that around into being a good thing or to being an opportunity or whatever. I think a lot of people just like can never overcome that wave. It's like pushy against them of just like that, you know, the pressure of like that completely new environment, but they can't take the momentum. They can't use that momentum to push past it anymore because they've been here for too long. So I guess what I would say is that, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know some people at the same time though who've lived here for, you know, longer than I have, over a decade, and you know, they just they're always like super pumped about everything too. And I love living in Japan, but it's just the things I care about now are really different than the things I cared about when I first moved here. And I think that'll probably happen to you, and I think that's probably a sign of growth. Not to like pat myself on the back too much or whatever, but I think it is like when your priorities change and the stuff that you're paying attention to changes. I think that's just kind of a sign that you're moving on to the like different stage, and either your stage of being a foreigner in Japan, stage of being an international citizen, stage of your life as a person, right? So yeah, I think that's maybe something to think about, that if you're having a lot of fun watching videos on Japan and stuff and just like discovering new things and, you know, going through YouTube shorts and stuff, that will be your experience probably in Japan, but that maybe won't last for as long as you think it will. Or even if it does, it's just like at a certain point you have to start living your life and focusing in on that kind of stuff more, and like that just overtakes everything else. Like life is hard anywhere you are in the world. Life is hard, right? And it's like all encompassing and it overwhelms everything. And, you know, pretty soon the corn porridge drink is like number 1,645 in your list of priorities, maybe lower, right? So, yeah, I mean, it's maybe something to think about if you're thinking about coming here. I'm not saying not to come. I'm just saying that you need to realize that coming here is going to be really fun, but it's also going to be an opportunity for you to push yourself to grow. And if you don't take that opportunity, the fun stuff is going to get less fun the longer you're here. So maybe something to think about. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more videos about my life here in Japan, my opinions about living here as a foreigner or Japanese culture, or any more tips about studying Japanese or how to move here or anything, I would really appreciate you supporting the channel by subscribing and whatever. And yeah, thanks for watching up until now either way. So yeah, have a great day, guys. See ya.